Right, hi everyone, welcome back to this video. So this is going to be a short comparison between these two beautiful belts. So obviously you can see at the bottom here you've got the 5-plater United States WCW Championship designed by Reggie Parks and made by Classic Shields, and they are on 4mm plates. And this was designed by JMar, which came into the mid-90s to the end of WCW. 3 plates, obviously. And this is made by Mohammed Nawaz, and these are on 3mm plates. And for a 3mm plate belt, this is fantastic. There's a review of each of these on separate on the YouTube channel, so please do have a look. But let's just have a slight look at the differences in art that we've got here. So obviously this one here is 5 plates, but it is a smaller main plate than the 3-plater there at the top. Okay, so this one's smaller. It's got a smaller eagle. So you got the banners. The banners are almost pretty much the same. So on the JMar version, you got a couple of wings, feathers coming out from the United States map into the main banner. And you got a larger spread of the wings across the banners. Slightly different design to the banner there. It just ends here. Whilst with the Reggie Parks version, it goes out onto the side. And the wings just come just above the main plate, whilst there you can see they're cut out into the main plate there as well. Some main difference in the wings. The font is very, very similar. I don't know the name of the font. The lettering is larger on the larger plate, obviously, because it's larger, but it seems more bold on the Reggie Parks version. Then you got the United States maps coloured there. The map is pretty much identical. Obviously there are some details which you can see on the outline of the map, just slightly different to this version. And the face of the eagle, this is more from the Winged Eagle Championship belt, so I believe it is the same, if not the very similar eagle. Looking a bit angry there, and that's looking angry in a different way. Then the feathers in the body are very simple in the JMar version, and just there towards the end of the tail, but the tail feathers spread out more than they do on the Reggie Parks version. But there's a bit more detail. There's a lot more detail in the etching with the Reggie Parks version. Now this could be due to Classic Shields doing a fantastic job, but also in the artwork as well. Less detailed in the wings here, but this eagle does pop and is a prominent part of the main plate. Then we have the Heavyweight Wrestling Champion banner, which spreads out onto the outer part of the main plate. That's the top banner there, the Reggie Park initial, and the Champion banner hangs out at the bottom and goes sort of into that banner there as well. Similar to this, very, very similar. The eagle's feet come out onto the banners as well on both of them. But you can see the tail feathers there, they're a lot more detailed and very well etched as well. And then on either side of the banner, you got the stars, or the compass stars on the Reggie, and you got the United States flags on both. The main difference you'll find in these belts is the floral patterns on the side. Let's get a closer look. A lot of people prefer this version because of the art. And you can see the floral there. It's a lot more finer. And this floral pattern really popped really well on TV. It almost looked white when it was reflecting in the light. I prefer this version of the belt, but I'm now starting to like this version just as much. But I like the 3-plater, it's bigger, and I like the details on the floral patterns on the plates there. And then we have these sort of arches here on the side. Very, very similar on both of them, if not identical, just larger on the JMar version. And they then come to the side plates. So on the 5-plate belt, side plates are exactly the same on either side. They're not being inverted or anything like that, so just look up one side. So you've got the grapplers there, which was a prominent feature in the World WCW Championship belt. The 5-plate version, when, you know, made famous by Big Van Vader and all that, because Ric Flair took the big gold over to the WWF. Very well detailed, really nice etching. This belt is of very good quality. Now this is a 3mm plate, which means the etching is not as deep as the 4mm. But I do really like the patterns on these because of how detailed these patterns are. So it reads World Championship Wrestling, 2 grapplers there. And it's exactly the same on the other side. These are exactly the same. This has the WCW US Champion logo plate, which Reggie Parks had put on. Some versions had them had it without the paint, or it was dual plated. I'm not sure, cannot remember at this point. This belt is also was made famous by Sting, Stunning Steve Austin, Rick Rude, Lex Luger. Lex Luger held both of these versions. Sting debuted this version in Tokyo, where he dropped the title there. So he walked in with this belt. So he wore it very briefly. And this one has a JMar logo plate. So JMar had 2 versions of the logo plate from what I know. This one, and there's another one which had like a blue painted background with his address and phone number, that kind of stuff on there as well. So the top version, the leather's been done by Immortal Leathercraft, Miles Lewis on Facebook. I've already been through the leather on this, fantastic leather. I will get all my belts, which are from overseas, re-leathered, the ones that I want to keep in my forever collection. This one has got classic Shields leather on it. There's a late stamp. The cut, I do like the cut of this particular leather strap. I like these pointing parts. Looking at photos from TV, that actually the leather cut was a bit more smooth and did not have these prominent arches or these points here on the leather. It is a bit more smooth, but I prefer this version of the cut. There's not, a lot of clear photos available, as this belt was on TV in the early 90s to the mid 90s. But I have to go back on the networks just to have a see videos of this belt. This belt has since been sold. This is going to the United States. So another passionate collector has bought this off me. I will miss this belt. I might get another one in the future. But the quality of this, of the plates, of the etching, the plating, the paintwork, everything to the plates is really, really good. So you have the 5 plate and the 3 plate. If I just put them over one another so you can see the difference in them. Obviously the 5 plate has got a wider leather cut, but you can see sort of the plates just come out at the bottom. Noah's got a good decent curve on his belt. Any more than that would be too much. You could get away with a little bit less, but I think that's the perfect curve. This is quite flat, not too flat, you can get your hand underneath. I think maybe if it's a bit too much, it'll look more curved than it should do. But they're both really good belts. And when they're beside one another, you can see the prestige that they hold. These types of belts, designed by Reggie Parks or by JMar, really showed the prestigiousness of these belts. Right, so thank you very much. Please do like, comment on the videos, please share them, and please do subscribe to the channel. Thank you for all of those that have subscribed and leave their comments. I very much appreciate that. It's just about me sharing the passion for the hobby with others. So, enjoy.